Hey everyone, I think it's time for me to get behind the camera this time and shoot a video about my favourite genre, well, subgenre of the horror genre, and that is creature features, or when animals attack, or nature gone mad. So, I'm going to show you some of my VHS and Betamax tapes, and maybe even, if I've got some, a few of my Laserdisc collection of those. Starting with, of course, my favourite, which is the favourite label of video, Roadshow. So, of course, the great Cujo. This is one of Stephen King's best books, in my opinion. Fantastic. I do have the Laserdisc. I will show you that as well. Absolutely love this. I watched it recently. I've got the Blu-ray as well, actually. That was really quite good. And I've just always loved that film, and I just think the dog in it was fantastic. I probably had many dogs, actually. And just a great performance by the cast. And it's a beauty. And I really love it. And if you've never seen Cujo, you're crazy. You got to watch it. It's very, very good. Now, another one of my personal favourites, Alligator. This is probably number 1 or 2 in my creature feature favourites. Now, this is a film I have probably watched I think I've watched 35 times. Sorry for the glare, guys. 35 times at a guess, maybe 40. I literally friggin' love this film, and that's why I have the French poster for it, which is absolutely epic in my opinion. It's got the scene for when the cop car avoids some kids, and the alligator crashes, and then the alligator kills the guy. Well, chews him up a bit anyway. That's obviously when he comes out of the sewers. I love the whole story. I love the way they've done this artwork. It's just fantastic. Obviously the American art was a little bit different. It had more of this up here, I think. But it's just an excellent movie, and I don't care if it's a B-grade movie or whatever. It wasn't the highest budget. I love it, and ever since I watched this film, I thought Robert Forster was fantastic, and I've watched probably all of his films. Then, of course, we have Razorback, Q the Winged Serpent. Definitely have those. Love those as well. Razorback is something I don't watch a lot of. I've watched it probably 8-9 times. But I don't find myself watching it very often. But Q the Winged Serpent, I really like that one too. Now, let's move on. And we have... The Stuff. Killer Dessert. Now, this movie came out in '85. I love the yellow, cover art. It just looks so cool. And I just think the movie's fantastic. So, that is one I've watched on streaming in recent times. And it's just a really, really cool film. I just love it. Now, this is probably number 3 in my creature feature collection. And some people may not actually know about it, but it's called Prophecy. It's from 1979 or 1980, and it has Talia Shire in it, who obviously was in the Rocky films. She also had a production company, I think, and she put the money up to make the movie Rad, I believe, or partly did. And it's about a paper mill that is dumping chemicals into the local rivers, lake, whatever it is, and it's causing these grizzly bears or whatever they are to actually be mutating, and the cubs that are born are all mutated and got weird looking faces, and it's just I just love the film. I really do. It's something that 79. It's something that I want to get on high definition video for sure, and it's CIC video. I like the font they use for this and the way they've done it. It's fantastic. The tape's in really good condition, actually. It's a national tape. It's Panasonic. Yeah, it's fantastic, and if you haven't seen it before, get it and watch it, or get it on streaming if it's on there. I really, really like this film. The reason why it looks like this is because someone has taken this from a cardboard case style release, like these were. Oh, sorry, Jaws was originally. They had the cardboard sleeves, so they've just cut it and done that, which I really hate, but yeah. Makes it look okay. Now, moving on. What else have we got here? We've got Deep Star 6 down here. More of a sci-fi horror than just a straight horror, but Really cool creature in this thing, and I really like this film. It's just a really enjoyable flick. It really is. I enjoy it. I like the whole story of it. It's a bit like Leviathan. Leviathan's great as well. If you haven't seen that one, get it as well. Now, moving on. What else have we got here? Number 4 in my all-time favourite creature features is Devilfish. This is the American Vidmark Entertainment release. Apparently there was a big box release of this as well. That was, the big American case, I believe. But I got this from the US. I had to get a copy of this. I do have the Australian version, but it's only a copy of the cover and a copy, like a dub of the movie, of the original. It's called Devouring Waves. It's just a black and white photocopy. I did used to do some colour copies as well, but I wanted to get this particular release. I really love the artwork of this. It's got a bit of that Jaws 2 Japanese cover art, or the back side of that Jaws 2 release up there. That red and yellow, the look to it. It's a really nice thing. It's actually a man-made monster. It's not actually something from nature. And yeah, it's really cool. If you've never seen it before, again, you need to check it out, because it is actually quite a good little flick. And the funny thing is, though, with this movie, is the scenes are actually between the Australian Medusa release, which is basically a sub-brand of 20th Century Fox Video, or CBS Fox. The scenes in Devouring Waves are in a different order slightly than they are on this one. There's a few scenes in the middle of the movie that are actually like reversed on one and the other way around on the other. Quite strange, that. A bit like these two here, with No Retreat, No Surrender. The American release has a couple of scenes that this doesn't, and the intro credits and the scenery is different altogether. Alrighty, now, what else have we got? I forgot to mention this one. The MGM Midnight Movies release on VHS in America, called Tentacles. This is obviously from 1977. Predates Jaws 2 by a year, and has some scenes in it with where are we here? There it is. Fun facts. Tentacles scene depicting an attack on a sailboat regatta predated a similar scene in Jaws 2. So yeah, it's a similar scene. It's nowhere near what Jaws and Jaws 2 are, but I quite like it. I really do. I quite like it. And Shelley Winters is someone who I really admired, obviously from the Poseidon Adventure. I thought she was a great person, great actress, and I love this actual release. The MGM Midnight Movies back in the VHS days, the last few years of VHS, in like 99, 2000 to 05. They were bringing these things out, and I just love them. I love American tapes, I really do. The American X-Rentals and sell-throughs are just fantastic, so some of these are great. That's another one of my favourites. Now, what do we got here? Blades is not really that, it's a killer lawnmower thing. I think something like that. And moving down, I wish I should have pre-organised this a bit better, guys, but oh yeah, here we go. So we've got Food of the Gods. Obviously there's a sequel to this too. This is a good little series, and I love the Midnight Mark releases by Fox back in the golden era of CBS Fox Video. Really cool artwork and good video presentation, or cover art presentation. It's Food of the Gods 1 or number 2 is streaming on, I think, what's that one called? Plex. I think it's on Plex or one of the other free streaming services, and it's a good thing, and it's I really enjoy it. There's just, ever since I was 4 years old, I got allowed to watch Jaws. I've always been into creature features the most. I really, really have, and it's just how it is. I just watched Jaws, and that was it. I was a creature feature nut ever since there. I just love the whole premise of animals going crazy, killing people. I just think it's awesome. Maybe that makes me sound a bit weird, but I love that. Now, Grizzly National Park Nightmares, as it's also that's not what it's known as, but that's basically what it is, a national park nightmare. You got a 15-foot killer grizzly, and unfortunately this one is faded. You can tell the difference between before and after right there. I do have the 88 films Blu-ray as well. Now this is a RCA Opal series tape. They had the stereo golds and the opals as well, and the silver screen ones, I think. The main actor in this one, I've forgotten his name, this guy here, but he was a really cool dude, and the fact they used a real grizzly bear, and they sectioned off areas where he was so the people couldn't be attacked and whatever. Something how they managed to pull it off with a real live animal is obviously not every scene was obviously like that. They would have used it for some of the wide shots and maybe fast-paced moving stuff. I don't think all of it was used for that. You just can't do it. But no doubt they would have used some not used live a real grizzly bear for some scenes, of course. But yeah, it's a true favourite of mine, and it's just something that I think is worth. It's actually quite a damn good film, and Christopher George, that's the guy. Him and Richard Jekyll are great in this film, and I do actually rate it. It's probably one of the better Jaws rip-offs. I mean, it's basically Jaws in a national park with a bear. It's just, I think it's so much better than so many of the other ones that came out. Now, killer dogs and wolves and all that stuff is really probably my favourite of all the creature feature ones. We've got Devil Dog Hound of Hell, which is a sell-through by CEL, I think. Now, Richard Crenna from Rambo's in this, and the print on this is not sensational, but I like the movie. He actually buys a pup from a litter of pups, and turns out that this litter is from, is quite seems quite harmless initially, but as they grow up a bit, and they tend to turn into absolute monsters. It's not one I've watched more than probably 3 or 4 times, but I had to have it in my collection. Now, Zoltan, Hound of Dracula is a very interesting one. I don't know much about the movie as far as what it cost to make, where it was made, but it's a good old Thorny MI release. I'd like to get this in high definition one day. Directed by Albert Band. I'm not sure if he's a relative of Charles Band, but the only thing I didn't like about Thorny MI back in the day was their descriptions on the back were very long. I could read that today, no problem, wouldn't care, but back in the day I was like, just put pictures on the back for God's sake. I didn't want all this fancy, all these long stuff. But I like the scene at the beginning when they've got this, crew of military guys sort of exhuming Dracula's grave or something, and the dog as well, and then something happens and they come back and start, all sorts of shit goes on. It's it's a really good one. It's 1977, so that's going back a fair while. I was only 4 then. That's when I watched Jaws. So that had to be in my collection as well. Now, Rottweiler, I put this onto disc DVD, I think, before the tape finally. I think the tape actually snapped, and the cover art's pretty banged up. It's obviously all been sort of taped and sealed over to keep it together. But it's been this particular one has been shot in such a way, at least this copy anyway, that it's all tall and skinny or anamorphic or whatever they call it, where the picture is all sort of really high and really narrow. That was sort of a mid to late 70s thing, I think. Maybe it's just a weird print, but it's not what I would call a great film or a good film. It's a bit of fun. It's cheesy. But I actually do. I like this one. It was in 3D when it came out in cinemas, I believe, and I have seen it in 3D once. And I like the cover art too. These films are what I really enjoy. Now, Slaughter. Okay, I don't know why it's called this, because it's actually called Dogs. It's a movie from 1976, and David McCallum, which is a British actor, guy was in Great Escape. This was released by Home Cinema Group, and I got this particular tape from Movies for You, which was a rental store and sales store next door to that, in Mermaid Beach in Queensland. I'd never seen it on tape before. And I do happen to have just recently purchased the Blu-ray of this, which came out in 2017. And I'll show you that right now. Then I'll do another video after this one. You can watch that as well. Here it is here. So this is the same movie. It's a restored HD master from the original negative. It's got a documentary on it, original uncompressed audio, some other features on it. But it's a really cool film. It's actually got the scene at the end. There's a scene I watched it on TV and I wanted it ever since then, and I'd never seen it again for probably 20-something years. And then I walked into Movies For You in Queensland back in 2002, and I went, shit! This movie looked. I found this on the shelf, and their sales store of all their X rentals and some of their sell-throughs. They had a lot of stuff too, probably 20,000 tapes. And I said, this is the friggin' movie I wanted. Not the same name, but it's and I bought it straight away, and I brought it back to here in Adelaide, and I've had it for many years. And when I found out that 88 Films had released it, I was like, yeah, man, that's so cool. There's a scene at the end when the animals, the dogs, start coming into the university, I think it is, and these people are running towards the university, like a bunch of people, and the ones at the back decide to just fall on the ground and play dead, and the dogs just run straight over them, straight past them, and attack everybody who's run into the university. And they shut the doors, and there's all glass windows everywhere, and the dogs smash through the glass and start killing people in the university door, in the university. And it's not. I don't know how to rate this film. I mean, I wouldn't say it's great by any means, but it's just I have my sort of thought is, and the way I am with movies is, even if I've watched a movie and it's crap, it's pretty average or it's only okay, I still enjoy the parts that I enjoy watching, that I enjoy seeing. I get out of it what I do, and I still enjoy it for that. Whereas some people will just go, well, that movie was shit, I hate it, never watch it again. I always get something good out of every movie, even if it's rubbish. Even if it's just, even if it's just one or two scenes in the movie, I'll actually go, well, I didn't like the film, but I like those particular scenes. Now, I'll finish up with this one here, then we'll go on to I'll do another video series, another video. Now, Savage Harvest, Thomas Skerritt, of course, from Alien is in this one. He's in Africa. And there we go. Predators are hunting a new prey because the grass eaters have perished. So their normal prey is not around, so they start hunting humans. Through the shimmering heat of the bush, they come vicious razor-clawed killers in search of human flesh. The Latimer's family's plantation has lost radio contact with the outside world. Isolated and vulnerable, the scene is set for a deadly siege as the family watch in horror as the grisly fate awaits them. So there you go, guys. Alien, Top Gun, Savage Harvest is a tense and bloody tale of survival. So there you go. It's worth a watch. Now, another one that I have enjoyed all my life is The Pack. Good Warner Brothers movie with Jodon Baker. Now, Jodon Baker was in the Walking Tall series, which I actually have down here somewhere. Where are we? Walking Tall. Yeah, there he is there. I've got all three of them. Jodon Baker is also in a movie called Speed Trap, which has Tyne Daly in it, who was in, obviously on the TV show, and she was in The Enforcer with Clint Eastwood. This is set on an island, I think. Yeah, islanders visiting a New England resort decide to stay on for a while after the summer season. They include a bank president, his son, assistant secretary and girlfriend, are happy to relax and look forward to some fishing. The handful of year-round residents, including an old fisherman, a blind man, and the operator of the island's grocery store, display a certain truculence towards the holiday visitors. Differences between the two factions are overshadowed by the need to combine forces to face the ultimate test of survival. Besieged by a pack of wild, abandoned dogs, bloodthirsty with barbaric killer instincts. So, yeah, a really good one, and yeah, worthwhile. Alright, well, let's continue this. I'll continue this with part 2, and I'll film that now and put both up shortly.